Gutierrez, and this summer I was a youth ambassador to go to China. And what I want to talk about is my experience. My first picture is I got to go to Beijing and experience the Great Wall of China. I've seen it a lot of times in videos. I've heard about it a lot, movies, but I never thought I'd get the experience to be able to walk on it. And they took me there, and I got to go up, make it all the way to the top. It was tiring, but it was enjoyable. I really enjoyed it there. Here's when we were at the top. It was a very nice view, very cloudy. It looks like it was cold, but it was pretty warm. It was hot over there. This is us. That's who I stayed with in China. Him and his family treated me very well, and I really liked how they treated me. They made it seem like I was part of their family, and I really enjoyed it. That was us coming down from the top. It took a lot of time to come up, so it would be hard to go back down the same way. So they have that up there to travel down easier. I also got to go to the Forbidden City. Very, very, very good place. I seen this place in if you guys know the movie The Karate Kid with Jackie Chan, they have a scene where they went to the Forbidden City. And I didn't realize until I rewatched the movie and I saw that that's where they made it. And I was like, oh, I got to go there, and I really enjoyed it. The food over there in China, super good. I really liked it. It gets you full really quickly, but it's so good. I ate a lot over there. I think maybe 3 times a day, very full. That's the mother. I really liked her. She was really nice. She treated me very well. She made it seem like if I was like her son, and I really enjoyed it. It was very nice. I really liked it over there. I would really recommend going there because, well, it's a very wonderful experience. You never know when the time you will get to go to China. So to do this program, it was very enjoyable. And yeah, I'd like to thank Lucy and Mayor Ralph and everyone in the organization who made this possible, because I really enjoyed this experience, and I would really recommend it to everyone who's here. People who want to go, I would really recommend it. It was very enjoyable.
Hello, my name is Edith. I was the student ambassador. Ambassador for China. I want to start off by thanking Lucy and Mayor Rao for giving me this experience, this chance to go to China. I never thought I would go to China until like later in my 20s, 30s, and I'm so glad I got to go. I want to start off by saying I really love the security that they have there. Could not leave my house without the passport. Never seen my passport so many times in my life until now. You really couldn't go anywhere without like the amount of security that they had. I feel like we should have something like that. But I say that because I went to Shanghai with Chow. She was the student ambassador taking care of me and with her family. And while we were there, we would take Ubers everywhere, and it was just the 2 of us and then her friend. And I would say, like, compared to like the US, it was so much fun. They would take me to go out to like the mall, little fun places, and we had a fun time. I don't remember the city where I went to. I don't remember what it was called, but that was my favorite one I visited because it was just full of history with pottery. And I love ceramics personally, and they knew that I did, so they brought me there, and I enjoyed my time there a lot. And I also want to like shout out the family that took care of me because like my brother said, it was like if I was a part of their family, going back and forth between the house from mom's side, dad's side. Like, they showed me how to play games. I played with them. I won once by myself, didn't know what I was doing. Loved that. I loved the food as well. I didn't know how spicy it would be, especially because they eat their food very hot. I loved it though. I don't think I have one food I could say that I hated. I loved everything, and I'm not a picky eater either. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm here today to present my trip to China. Here are the basics. My name is Adi Tejada. I'm a sophomore at Kent Laboratory Academy, and I was a 2025 Kent Yangzhou Youth Ambassador. I had an amazing opportunity to go to China for 3 weeks, and it's all thanks to Miss Lucy and Mayor Ralph for giving me this opportunity to go here. And here's a few things I have done on my trip there. I have walked around Yangzhou a lot in my time there, and giving me the opportunity to see and experience how it is being a local in China. And I went a lot of places like grocery stores, malls, street shops, and more. Being able to really see how it is in China, which is very much different from social media, it was really great to see. I've been to many museums, saw a lot of things related to the history and how it was back then. Here are a few monuments that I've been to in my time there. This would be the Yangzhou City Wall, this one, Temple of Heaven, the Great Wall of China, Forbidden City, Universal, and Shanghai. And those are only a few places that I've been to. And I've also been able to walk around a lot, around the streets, and being able to meet with lots of people. Some favorite things about my trip would be making new friends, experiencing new things, trying new things, and learning about the culture hands-on. So for the fourth one, I was able to go on this boat where it would show you about China years ago. And everything was in the water. As you can see, there's people dancing on the water and other structures. I've been able to go to the university, being able to see it. It has, she has told me that it has 100-year history. This is part of the museum. It was really cool to open the doors and see this whole street. We also went to this museum where it showed the connections with Yangzhou and other cities, Kent being one of them. This was the Temple of Heaven. And I also learned how to make Chinese dumplings with Yo-Yo. They're trying new things. I tried a hot pot and they shot noodles in my face. It was really funny. I was with her brother, Yo-Yo's brother. We tried to have crickets as pets and they sold them in the stores. It was really different and funny. Been to a lot of malls. This is an example of one. They are really big and I kind of got lost a few times. I tried lots of new foods. They're all really amazing. Second would be experiencing new things. I experienced going to a new city with her. I've experienced pottery for the first time. I never did pottery before, and it was actually really fun. I went on a skyline for the first time. The Great Wall of China. This was very steep, but it was really beautiful. Went on really scary roller coasters. We cried one time. Here's Shanghai. We got to see Shanghai. And riding bikes. Now, my most important part about this trip, personally, was being able to make new friends. I made this new friend. This is the host family, Yo-Yo. I'd like to give a shout out to her and her family. They treated me like I was an actual sibling. I was part of the family. Her brother, and her parents. And they really made me feel like I belonged. And everything I did and showed you in my presentation, she was there with me. Trying the roller coasters, she was there. Went to the skyline, she was there. When I just wanted to watch Disney movies in the hotel room, she was there. When I wanted somebody to take photos, she was there. The Great Wall of China, which was very tiring, she was there too, also tired. When they wanted to sing happy birthday to me, my birthday's in March, they were there. We especially bonded when we came back to the U.S. few examples: rode bikes, went to ferries, went tubing together, and meaning here. And we took our go-karting for the first time, and a lot of other fun things, even fishing in the middle of the restaurant. And those are only a few of the things that I was able to do here in my time over there. And I really appreciate and I really loved my time there. I would suggest it to anybody who is thinking about going. And I would like to thank everybody who made it possible. And that's it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Andrew Dobbs, and I was a 2025 CAT Youth Ambassador. Being a YA was full of unforgettable experiences. Traveling to Japan, staying with the host family, making new friends, learning about a new culture, and having a ton of fun along the way. I'm going to talk about the friendships I made. This is a picture of me and the 3 other YAs from our city and our chaperone on July 20th. We were nervous, but also really excited. It was hard to believe it was finally time to go to Japan. After a long flight, we finally arrived in Osaka, where our Japanese chaperones greeted us with big welcome signs. Then we traveled by vans to Tamba to meet our host families. Even though we were completely exhausted, our host families made us feel so welcome when we arrived. It was such a fun and unforgettable start to our trip. This is a picture of me and my host brothers and sisters, Tetsu, Rena, and Maria, having lunch together on my first day in Tamba. They took me to a Japanese McDonald's, which was totally different from the ones we have in the U.S. I had shrimp tempura, and it was even served on real dishes. Even though I didn't speak much Japanese, we still had a great time together. Tetsu and I played basketball. Maria and I played games. Reina was a typical playful 2-year-old who had lots of energy. This picture shows all of us YAs and the chaperones with the mayor of Tamba, the city council president, and as well as other city leaders. It was an honor to meet them, and it showed how much Tamba values its relationship with Kent and Auburn. That made us feel really special. I was probably the most nervous about giving my introduction speech in Japanese. I had practiced with the tutor before the trip, but I was worried my pronunciation was not that great, and it probably was not. But everyone clapped enthusiastically, and my host mom was so kind, she told me I did a good job. One of the highlights of the trip was being interviewed in the local news. For a few minutes, I actually felt kind of famous. I was hoping they just didn't ask me any questions in Japanese. It was really interesting to visit a local high school in Tamba. We played basketball in the gym, and I tried Japanese calligraphy with brushes and ink. I wasn't good at writing the characters, but the students were always so helpful and made it fun. I was able to connect with people my own age and learn from them. We were really lucky to be able to visit Expo in 2025 in Osaka. We got to see different country exhibits, which was really cool. One of the themes was connecting lives, and I definitely felt that while I was staying with my host family in Japan and making new friends. When I think back on everything I did, my favorite memories were definitely the times I spent with my host family. From meals together to adventures, those moments meant a lot to me. After we returned from Japan, the experience didn't end there. In August, we got to host the 2 Tamba YAs, Tetsu and Shunta. It was so much fun to show them around. When I stayed with Tetsu, I got to meet his grandparents, so I took him and Shunta to meet mine. We also had a fun day playing at Lake Taps. We got to show Tetsu and Shunta around Seattle, and it was a blast. We visited the Pike Place Market, checked out the famous gum wall, and even went to a Mariners game during Ichiro's Hall of Fame weekend. It was extra exciting because we got to see Cal Raleigh hit a home run. On another day, we took Tetsuo and Shunta to the Museum of Flight and also went on the Seattle Underground tour. We learned that the early Seattle had some big plumbing problems. Basically, it would get pretty stinky every time the tide rolled in. One of the things we did together was volunteer at the food bank. All the YAs jumped right in to help. Tetsuo and Shunta and I got the lucky job of tossing out about 300 pounds of radishes that were way past their prime. After that, it's safe to say I don't want to see another radish for a very long time. This was a fun day. We got to meet Mayor Backus, Auburn Mayor Backus, who took time to talk with us, take some funny pictures, and treat us some ice cream. Ice cream always makes a day better. We also visited Kent, where we met City Council President Satwinder Kerr and a canine dog. The dog seemed just as excited to meet us as we were to meet it. From the Tom Youth Ambassador Welcome Banquet to paradise at Mount Rainier National Park to picnics where we shared food and made memories. The most important part of KAT for me has been the friendships. Spending time with Tetsuo and Shunta and everyone in the program is what I'll remember the most. Thank you. Arigato.
Hello everybody, my name is Jonathan Carlson. I'm 15 years old and I am a high school sophomore. My favorite thing about going to Japan was the World Expo, and I got to experience many different cultures in many different pavilions, and one thing that was a lot different from America was the wait times between these pavilions. They were much shorter compared to America's fair. I also really liked the beautiful scenery and the Japanese views. This is just a picture of the beautiful coast, and there are also really beautiful mountains that I got to see. I got to bond between the Japanese youth ambassadors and myself, and this is the picture of their family. I got to bond with the parents and the sister and the brother. I also got to hang out with all of the other CAT members. That was probably my favorite part of the trip, being able to just have fun with them, and I really liked the trains in Osaka. The World Expo, the theme of the World Expo was designing future society for our lives, and this is the picture of a French pavilion inside the World Expo, and it was my favorite pavilion. There were a lot of interesting exhibits in the French pavilion, but my favorite was the mirror room, where you could see mirrors all around the room, and if you looked up, you could see the walls going up forever and ever. So my host family was kind enough to take me to many cool places in Japan. They took me to Kyoto Tower and to Soribashi, also known as a moon bridge. The waters next to the Soribashi were full of many colorful types of fish and even soft-shelled turtles. My host family was also really kind, and they took me to a hotel in Kyoto, and they let me stay the night. It was really interesting to see how the hotels in Japan looked compared to the ones in America, and while they were mostly the same, there were differences such as a pathway outside that was surrounded by beautiful wildlife. And I even got to run on a pathway next to the river, and it led me under many bridges and through many crowds. A lot of people were just there to enjoy the river, but there were also a couple people enjoying the view. There are a lot of vending machines in Japan. They're everywhere. And these are vending machines at Fukuchiyama Castle that sold many different drinks. I had never seen a whole bunch of flavors in real life, such as the melon soda, and some of them are even decorated really cool, like the ones in the top. Thank you for listening.
Hi, my name is Mika Parmenter. I currently am a junior at Auburn Riverside, and this is my presentation. I've been a part of the CAT program since last February, and I've done many events since then, such as participating in the auction, helping out with the fishing derby, Easter egg hunt, and so many more. I was really excited to be a part of this program, and I'm really grateful for the many opportunities it gave me to help out different communities and to learn about other cultures. The CAT program's goal is to promote peace through mutual respect, understanding, and cooperation, and by connecting students from different cultures. And my recent 10-day exchange in Tamba, Japan was a very powerful example of that. My hope is to show you not just the fun we all had, but also how this trip reinforced the importance of community and service, values I know we all share. This year there was 10 YAs from both Washington and Japan, 3 boys and 3 girls from Tamba, and 2 girls and 2 boys from Auburn. We all got along pretty well considering we're all around the same age, so yeah. And these are just some group pictures we took. While in Tamba, I stayed with Sayu and Sarah, who happened to be sisters, and my age was in between them. We had talked online before, which was really nice because by the time I got there, it felt like we had already known each other for a long time and we're super close friends. In Tamba, I got to go to a Matsuri, a summer festival, and also went to a local shrine where I was able to visit the oldest tree in the town and got to draw my fortune and make a wish. I really liked the Matsuri as well because there are a lot of games you could play, similar to a carnival, and there's also some pretty fireworks that were cool to see. I also really enjoyed the Osaka Expo, which is held from April 13th to October 13th, and when I was there, I got to see a lot of the different cultures from different countries I hadn't experienced before, as well as USA itself, which I got to learn a little more about how our space stuff worked in NASA, so that was fun. Within 2 weeks of us returning to Washington, the youth ambassadors from Tamba came over and we were once again reunited. It was super fun being able to introduce them to so many new things and seeing what they thought of life in the US. On the second day, my family took Sayu and Sarah out to Seattle for the day to check out some of the most popular places. We went to the first Starbucks and Pike Place Market, Space Needle, Mopop Museum, on the boat tour, and to Ivers, where they got to feed some of the birds. In Washington, Sayu and Sarah, along with the other Japanese youth ambassadors, got to experience many things they couldn't do in Japan, such as riding on the Surrey bike, celebrating Sayu's birthday at Red Robin, going to a Mariners game, and seeing Ichiro, and many more. We also got to go to a different game the day before, the one we all went to together, and we got to see Ichiro's number get retired, which was super cool. In Auburn, Kent, we got to do many fun and helpful things, such as volunteering at the Auburn Food Bank, meeting both the Kent and Auburn mayors, going to a banquet hosted by the Auburn Union Lions, and just overall getting to participate in new experiences within my hometown. While in Japan, I was able to get closer with all the youth ambassadors, both from Japan and Auburn. We all became good friends and were able to easily talk to each other by the end of it and able to joke around. And here are just some of the pictures from the trip in general. We all played tennis at Auburn Riverside. We got to go bowling. While in Japan, we also got to go to a karaoke bar / restaurant, which was really fun because I hadn't been to one before. And yeah. Overall, I think that this was one of the best experiences of my life. Through this program and trip, I was able to learn so much about culture I didn't know too much about before, and I was also lucky enough to be doing the program with so many amazing people that I became amazing friends with. I'm really grateful to have been given the chance to do this program, and I'm excited to see how the future trips go and to hopefully continue helping out the program. Thanks for listening to my presentation.
Konbanwa, watashi no namae wa Ruararu desu. Hi, my name is Laurel Dela Cruz, and I am a junior at Auburn Riverside High School and a 2025 YA CAP member. So my presentation is about Kawara buildings. I decided to talk about this because it is one of the topics that I learned while I was in Japan. Now, Kawara buildings have Kawara roofs. Kawara roof in Japan is a traditional style for housing made up of fired clay tiles. These can be seen on buildings such as the temples, shrines, and traditional housing. Back then, it used to be only temples and shrines. However, throughout the decades, you can see them on a lot of traditional housing. There are 2 types of Kawara roofs called Ichimonji Gawara, which is more of a straight-edged tile, while the other type is the Manju Gawara, which is a round-edged and curved tile. For example, in these pictures, you can tell the difference between the curved edge and a straight edge. On the top pictures, they're more of a curved and round style tile, while the bottom are more straight-edged tiles. These are the two different kinds of roofs you can see in Japan. Now, the purpose of Kawara roofs are for its protection, durability, and aesthetic on buildings. It's known for its practical yet artistic looks. That's why you can see a lot of these houses showcased in Japanese-style television, where a lot of the housing have a lot of Kawara roofs. Now, the history of Kawara roofs started in Korea and China, and later immigrated to Japan. It symbolized wealth and protection, therefore it was mainly used for important buildings, such as governments, temples, and shrines. However, there was an increased popularity during the Edo period, which is why you can see it in a lot of Japanese neighborhoods. Now, the materials used for Kawara roofs are usually fired up clay. This is to help weather the weather resistance on Kawara roofs. There are also other techniques used for Kawara roofs, such as ceramic-like material or a glazed finish. Now, these looks have different aesthetics on different types of buildings in Japan. Now, why did I decide to choose this topic about Kawara roofs? It was actually one of my first conversations I had with my host family, specifically my host mother, as I noticed that there were a lot of different textured and type of style roofs in their neighborhood. And lastly, here are a few pictures I took in Japan that I noticed had Kawara roofs. For example, in the first picture, the top left picture, I went to Osaka-jo. That's the castle held in Osaka. They specifically have Kawara roofs as it was a very significant and important building in Japan. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. Arigatou gozaimashita.